we go. What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is doing good. I'm great as always, man. We're diving back into that lab. I told y'all I am not done by any stretch of the imagination. We're talking Adonai Mitchell, Adonai Mitchell from Texas, UGA product, now Indianapolis Colts. And there is a lot of good things I got to say about this man. Yes, there are some negatives. His grade score may surprise you to where he lands to comparatively, to the rest of this wide receiver class in this rookie class. I'm a big fan of Adonai Mitchell. I think that there is a lot of good things to discuss. So what do you say? Pros, cons, and a grade score. Let's talk some Adonai Mitchell. You know, when you fully break down what Adonai Mitchell was able to do on the field in college with his collegiate career, there is some kind of like enigma situation to his game because you're like, you know, it's something of a mystery to some degree, and I will touch it based on this in the pros and the cons, but I mean, overall, the body of work that we did see, yes, the sample size does feel a little bit lean, but I do like his game a lot, and I do think there is a lot of great potential for him to be a grown-ass man in this league, and I mean, he got drafted to a team that could absolutely utilize him properly. Those Indianapolis Colts took him round 2, pick number 20. He did fall in the draft just a little bit. His, he was warranting being a first-round commodity early on, and some off-field things, so, the diabetes thing did push him down. Some people saying character issues were an issue and why he did fall out of that first round, but he is definitely very close to being that first-round talent that a lot of people can covet, and with the Colts picking him here with this depth with a Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, I mean, you got a great foursome here in the wide receiver room that you can rely upon with an Anthony Richardson, seeing what he can do in his second season, coming off that shoulder injury where they did shut him down, Anthony Richardson, I'm speaking of. But you got very good, high-quality, talented, not even talking about Jonathan Taylor, but I mean, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, and AD should be your 1-2-3 punch in this offense, and I mean, speed for days. We know Josh Downs can run. We know Michael Pittman is a big play wide receiver, and now you add the field-stretching ability of an AD as well, but he does have other capabilities and characteristics that will make him that much better. You still got Ashton Doolin, you got the other rookie, Anthony Gold, you got DJ Montgomery, and then Winfrey, and the guys start to fall off a little bit when it comes to wide receiver depth after that. But when you add somebody like a Mitchell to this offense, you know what these Colts are trying to do. They want to be high octane. They want to move this football. They want Anthony Richardson to succeed. And I mean, giving him a guy like AD with a Pittman and a Downs is a formula that you got to understand should work in Indianapolis, especially with a Jonathan Taylor where you can take some pressure off of the passing attack and then at least lean on the ground game. But I do love the fit here in Indianapolis. I mean, they're going to be able to run fast inside that dome, and Mitchell is definitely going to showcase his talents and what he is able to do on the field. He is that good. I'm a big fan. There is no question, man. But let's talk about those measurables. As always, 6'2", 205. Very good frame, man. 21 years of age. Still kind of learning on the job. You want to believe he is only 21. Still lots of growth that could be had here in with his game, man. 35 contests played with both UGA and Texas. Obviously, Texas was his best season last year. 93 receptions, 1405, 15.1 on the average, and 18 touchdown receptions. So it's no stranger to the end zone here this past season with the Texas Longhorns. He did very well in that regard, did pump up his draft stock quite a bit. And like I said, there is a lot of good things we could talk about his game. So let's talk those pros. Very good size right off the bat. We're talking 6'2", 205. Very good put together frame. And what makes it even better because of that, the lightning fast speed wheels, 4.34 on the 40 time. And while I do got some mention of this in the cons, I mean, you do see the speed on display, especially when it does showcase what he is able to do on the field. He is able to get around defensive backs. He is able to stretch the field. He is able to do some yak. I do like this about his game as well. Very fluid running ability. And if you guys want to see it on display, go look at the combine. I mean, he was running absolutely beautifully. You guys know with my running backs and wide receivers, I want to see the fluidity on top and elite capabilities. And I mean, AD definitely has this in his repertoire as well. Very fluid, and I do love that about his game. Strong footwork, stutter step off the line when he is making the cut to get around his defensive back. You do love that with his separation ability. I think it is one of the stronger ones in this class as well. It is, again, there is growth and progress for all of these rookies, but where he sits today, I'm a very big fan of the footwork, stutter step off the line. He does create separation in many ways, man, whether it be the speed, the plant steps, the arm push-offs. I mean, he's doing it all, and I do think that it is a big part part of his game. There is some issues when it comes to effort in the cons, but I'll touch that when we get there as well. Route tree is very good. Is it elite at this point? I'm going to say no, but I'm very favorable on the route tree. I think, he does the slants very well. He's able to separate, like I said. He can get on the nines. He can go outside. He does bully his defensive backs, and I do like the route tree. There is some, refinement that could be had, but overall, I'm still putting it down as a pro, saying it is very good at this point. Sweet double move to set up the sluggos. You got to love it to go on the outside. He again, the footwork is there. I mean, the strong footwork, stutter steps, and I mean, the double move where he is going, stop and go, and it's so good. He's going to get around all these defensive backs, especially with the speed. He does have a little bit of that burst to get around and then, make a defensive back pause when he is coming in, and then he's able to take off and go down the field. Jump ball magician. He's going after these balls with that great body adjustments and, contorting. And he's going to do some you got mossed appeal. We've seen a bit of this. The back shoulder fades, the jump balls over the defensive backs. He does this exceptionally well, which did aid in his breakout campaign this past year. And while a lot of people say, well, he didn't crack 1,000, 55 receptions for 845 and 11 TDs with the Longhorns with Quinn Ewers. It wasn't even young Manning coming into being the quarterback. It was with Quinn Ewers. So you got to believe, 845 is a big step in the right direction in terms of yardage for him. But the 11 TDs does showcase the fact that he can be trusted inside the red zone and be that plus threat you're looking for. His hands are soft, man. There is some questions that I do have in certain aspects of how he catches the football, but when he does catch it, hands are soft, corralling, snags the ball in. At the combine, we did see a little bit of a misstep, but overall, AD does have so many good positives that you're looking at for a wide receiver, and he could definitely be a plus starter in the NFL, not only being potentially an alpha if he does progress in the right direction. But for some cons, everybody's got him. He's got him as well. Limited success at Georgia, and he had the ankle injury in 2022. Then he transferred over to the Longhorns, and then his career did see a little bit of better showing playing alongside somebody like an Xavier Worthy. So my biggest issue always is, why did it not succeed at your previous club? It's not as if, his talent just didn't, mature fast enough. He had some plays at UGA. Yes, the ankle injury in 2022 basically only gave him 6 contests to play with, but it just wasn't working like you had thought. Obviously, you had Ladd McConkey, you had Brock Bowers, and it's a run-heavy team at UGA. So going over to Texas was a stroke of genius to at least showcase the fact that he is better than what he was with the Bulldogs, man. Tape speed does not always match tested speed. That's what I was trying to say to y'all. So when you do see him take off and he wants to do it, absolutely, he's cooking guys down the field. But then there's some you're like, well, why does it look sluggish at times? And you're kind of concerned and confused. So at the bottom, it says here, low effort run blocker and can give up on plays. So I'll preface that by saying when the tape speed doesn't always match, I think it could be an effort thing. And that's why a lot of people were dropping him down the board. And that's why I do believe he fell out of the first round as well. Not just a character thing. It's more of, just effort on the field. Are you going to play every single snap, snap in, snap out, and you're going to give your all? We'll see what it does. Maybe just get into the NFL process. He just wanted, maybe it'll change. And I'll put it to that point that way. The combine was underwhelming, and it's not necessarily a con, just a statement. He had some drops. He had some, it wasn't necessarily sharp, and I think that's what I was looking for. I want to see the supreme sharp plant steps, and why do I say the combine? These guys are in shorts. They're playing, practice football, but you want to see the movements, right? While he didn't disappoint me, it was underwhelming because maybe my expectations were just a little too high, but he's still a very, very good wide receiver in so many capabilities that he does have. Better on-field player than test player, very possible in that sense as well. So instead of saying it's a full-blown con, maybe it's just something to watch as a statement as well. He does have some double catching. Like I said, I do like his hands. They're soft, they're corralling. He pulls the ball in. But there is some double catching that I did notice. So again, lack of statistics, lack of opportunity, he will get better. And I think this is more just, if he continues to work at his craft with the catching ability, he's going to be one of these guys that we could be trusting on a weekly basis, especially in the fantasy football community, that he's going to be catching a lot of passes for y'all and not dropping, having these double catching drops potentially hindering his game. He does have a diabetic issue as well, so that was another reason why some teams were concerned. We see guys with diabetes threes in the NFL anyway. They do make it work, so I get it. Maybe that also comes to why the lack of effort. Maybe he's not feeling it, but I mean, in the NFL weight room meal plan, I mean, they're going to get his diabetes in check, no question. So it's not a big deal, but I mean, health issues, you got to always mark them down as a con. The issues statistically, and why did this happen to this man? Only 3 games, career 100-yard games. Out of all the contests he did play, he only cracked 100 yards 3 times. Why is this? I don't understand. Yes, again, playing with a guy like Xavier Worthy, you're going to have to split touches and targets. I get that completely. But only 3 games of 100 yards? Something's up with there, man. 25 out of 32 games, 3 receptions or less. So it's like he wasn't even involved. Again, giving up on the plays potentially there as well. Not a good sign. 21 out of 32 games, under 50 yards receiving. So again, here's the situation. You know, when he was asked to be, you know, the baller, called upon, score touchdowns, he was doing it. But then it's like certain games he disappears and you're like, why is he disappearing? And I don't like that whatsoever. But I mean, there is situations, you know, where you just can't put your finger on it. I was going through at least 6-7 games of his, and I just couldn't put my finger on why is this occurring? Why is this happening? But I mean, statistically speaking, his breakout year was this past year, like I mentioned, going over 800 yards, 11 TDs. But I mean, again, with all the statistics that he did have, there was some lackluster performances that we have to take notice of. But for grading purposes, I told you you're going to be surprised with his grade score because of how he is graded on my board. Very strong, very good. 80% is my grade score. He is rivaling the top dogs in this draft class. I do believe in the skill set. I do believe in the talent of an AD Mitchell. I think he is going to be that much quality, that good on the field, and in an offense where he's not necessarily relied upon as a wide receiver 1 as of yet because Michael Pittman is that dude. I think it's just going to open up many opportunities for him to showcase all those talents that he does possess, and I am a big supporter of AD. I think he's one that the Colts absolutely scored on in this draft because of teams, fear in what could potentially fall him. But I do like AD a lot, and the Colts definitely got themselves a stud in the making. So there you have that is Adonai Mitchell, AD Mitchell from the Texas Longhorns, UGA product, now Indianapolis Colt. And I do like how these Colts are building. Could have one of the better wide receiver rooms in the coming years if they do continue to progress in the right direction. If Anthony Richardson continues to progress in the right direction, this offense could be very exciting and exceptional, no question. And Mitchell's going to have a big part of that. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What do y'all think on AD? Throw it in the comments. We can definitely talk it out. But we'll see you next time. I am out.